Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Today there'll be an interesting one. We're not sure that this reel can be saved or not. It appears to be frozen. The customer brought it in and asked me if I could repair it, to which the answer is I can give it a try. That's usually the way it's a response. This one happens to be a Fin-Nite 303, so that's a Fin-Nor product. It's made by Fin-Nor. It's got 3 ball bearings. On the surface it appears to be a nice reel, however it doesn't turn. Something's jammed up in there. So let's take it apart, let's see if it can be saved. If it is, I'll show you how to service the reel. If it can't, we'll learn a little bit about what went wrong with this reel, and maybe we'll learn to avoid it. I don't know, we'll go see. Okay, so we're going to take the spool off. That appears to be a long casting spool, which would be a nice feature, particularly in a 30 series kind of a reel. We're also going to pull out the spool click mechanism at this point, just to give me access so I can take off the rotor. We're going to do that with a wrench, and I usually have an offset wrench in here that we can go grab to pull that apart. And each manufacturer uses a scheme with these nuts. They're never the same, it seems. Some turn right, some turn left. Some have set screws, some don't. It's kind of personal preference. But Fin-Nor is a company that's been around a long time. Fin-Nor was established in the early 1900s. I believe it's a combination of the 2 founders' names. It was a machine shop in Miami Beach. And at one point in life, they sold this off. And it's now part of the Zebco line. So we're going to, the shaft is frozen up top here. We have a bearing, we have the anti-reverse bearing. We're going to eventually pull that, I think. Might as well do that right now just for fun. Although I usually like to pull that down. So you notice I'm wearing a protective glove here. I never know what's going on inside these reels. So I do like to, where I can, to keep the contaminants off my hand. You'll also notice I'm putting those pieces into a parts tray so that I don't lose those. I always encourage the folks when I do these videos to take pictures along the way. That way if you forget a sequence, or if you look in your parts bucket in the end there and you still have some parts, then you'll know where you can go to find them. Okay, so I just pulled the bearing out of this. We're going to see where that takes us here. So this is frozen. Oh, it seems to have freed up just like that. So go figure that one out. So there is something going on between this pinion gear and the main gear. So let's go inside and have a look. It may be a case where it's missing teeth. I don't know. We'll go find out. So this is a bump shield, and it's used for protecting the bottom of the reel if it happens to slam into a post. Maybe a guardrail on a pier, maybe the posts or the rails on your gun wall on your boat. Sometimes people just drop reels, and this will take the shock so that the reel doesn't break as a result. Okay, now we got 4 side plate screws. And again, this is where pictures are helpful. If you're not doing this on a regular basis, you can go ahead and take a picture and know where the issue is in these reels. So so far I kind of like what I'm seeing. It seems to be a quality reel. I'm not sure on the pricing on it, but you know, Fin-Nor's an upper end kind of a reel within that Zebco line. So you're going to have the Zebco, you're going to have the Quantums, you're going to have the Rhinos, and Fin-Nor is a piece of that. Fin-Nor's made its reputation in large game saltwater fishing reels. This 30 size would probably be about the smallest that you see with a saltwater application. But again, the customer just brought this one in because it simply is frozen. So I guess we'll know in a few seconds here what's causing the problem there, and if it's something that we can fix. So here we go. Here's the giant, great reveal, I guess. So right now I'm going to pull the post off of this. You do that, that's a crosswind post. You do that by pulling out the screw that sets the spool shaft to that crosswind block. You can hold your finger on that and pull that out. Now we're going to be able to take a look at the main gear. And here's where I thought I was going to see the problem. I see the problem with teeth, but all of the teeth are intact here. Certainly doesn't have a lot of lubrication. All the teeth here are okay, so maybe we'll go ahead and check that out. We're going to take that crosswind block out. Again, I'm looking for broken pieces because that's usually what causes something to freeze. And you know, poor or limited or no lubrication certainly is a cause for that. But we'll see. So I got a bearing on the side here. It's a 3 bearing reel, so the obvious ones are there. It's a bearing on each side plate, and it's a bearing up top. So you have the back bearing here. Which is, that one's frozen. So that's one of the problems here, is we have a frozen bearing. So let's go see if we can't poke that out and get that thing worked up. We got half of it out. We got the marker out there. Okay. So this bearing appears to be rusted solid through. Take a look on the other side. Yep, this one's a bad bearing as well. So that's the answer to what's going on in this reel at the moment. Is you got 2 bearings here that were frozen. I suspect that the shaft probably got frozen in there as well. These bearings are going to have to be replaced in order to complete the reel. So here's an example of quality kind of reels and how sometimes quality is compromised. So if you have stainless steel shielded ball bearings, that's one thing. If you have steel ball bearings used in a saltwater application, that's quite another, and I'm sure that's exactly what's happened here. So both of these are inoperable at this point, and my guess is that the bearing up top here, the bearing up top seems to be spinning okay. Well, we took that one out. So let's go grab this one. So these are the 3 bearings in the reel. Yeah, the one up top is moving. The 2 on the bottom are not. At this point, what we're going to do is we're going to check with the customer. This reel is not that expensive. Bearings seem to be kind of standard stock. We should be able to get these, but my guess is we're probably going to spend $10 or $15 to get those bearings and have them shipped to us. And the customer's going to have a decision to make here in terms of whether the reel is just worth the repair or not. I like what I see. You know, 3 ball bearings to me is the minimum. You should have 1 on each post. You should have 1 up top. It's a nice size reel. It's a 30 size reel. Again, it has a long cast spool on it, so that would work well. The components look okay in terms of not being compromised from a quality standpoint. So we'll see. I'll let you know how we make out on that one. But for now, this is kind of serves as an example. A lot of these reels that are frozen can be repaired, and if the price is right, it's worth continuing doing that. If the price is wrong, then I call these things the price of tuition. You kind of buy one of these, you learn from it, and maybe you put that in your collective knowledge base for a later date in terms of something that if you're looking out there shopping, trying to find reels to repair, whether it makes sense or not. Fortunately, I don't own this one, so I didn't take a loss on it. I will get back to my customer and let them know that they have some bad bearings that need to be replaced. And then to put this back together, it's going to be very simple. We're just going to put the bearings back in place. We're going to lubricate the crosswind gear. We're going to put that crosswind block in there. We're going to kind of reverse the process, right? We'll put the bearing back on the top of this one. We'll attach the rotor. We'll put the main shaft through and button it up that way. So lessons learned, right? So it's a medium to a lower end kind of a reel. It's got some costs to repair, and the question is whether it's worth repairing at that point because of those bearings. So this is what I do in these videos. Sometimes we don't come to a successful conclusion with these reels. Sometimes we just on wait and see. And we will wait and see on this one to see what the customer wants to do. But I did want to introduce you to the reel, show you a little bit about the workings of it. If you have one of these, the best thing to do is obviously keep these bearings lubricated, and you would do that with some some reel oil. In this case, most of the time I use Reelex as the oil. There's other oils that are out there that have come with reels, right? Here's another aftermarket reel oil, and certainly you have the reel oils that come from each of the manufacturers. So hope this has been valuable to you. I hope it's another lesson learned in the series that we're doing. And if you have any questions or comments, I reply to them all. If you'd like to see more of this kind of thing, give me a ring and leave a comment, leave a question. I'll reply to you. And if you want to see my series, simply subscribe to my channel. Thanks again for watching. This is Dennis for SecondChance.com.